Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We're happy to welcome you today for an interaction with the governing board, members of the governing board, chairman, and Mr. Balabaska. So today, Elvira will facilitate the interaction for clarity, so that people can express themselves. People will be allowed to speak from between 3 to 4 minutes. I will be the timekeeper, if that's okay with you.
Is your voice carried?
Can you hear me? Yeah? So I will be the timekeeper and make sure that everyone will be able to express himself or herself for 3 to 4 minutes. And now I will pass the microphone to the chairman. Yeah.
Members of the governing board, members of the working committee, and of all the other various committees that we've met today, and dear Aurovillians, it seems that you can't get rid of me. I mean, I'm sorry. This third term I wasn't very sure about, but now it's a fourth term. So there must be something behind it, I presume, some divine force, although I don't yet feel it, but when I sit amongst you, I do get some idea that there is a collective power in Auroville. Let me say what a privilege it is for me personally to have been associated with Auroville for the last 22 years. I became chairman of the governing board in 1991, and so that's 22 years ago, with just a small break in between of 3 or 4 years. It's a great privilege, and I've watched Auroville grow. I've watched the magnificent Matri Mandir take shape and complete, and I've watched the way, for example, that Auroville rallied after the terrible typhoon. So I've seen a lot of the spirit of Auroville, and I'd like at the outset to congratulate the Aurovillians for all that they have done over the last 20, 25, 30 years. Just because you may have some small problems here and there, do not neglect or underestimate your achievements. Because I think, for example, even the creation of Matri Mandir itself is something for which the Aurovillians will always be remembered. So I would like to first of all make that point, that Auroville is a great achievement, and that we are all very proud of it. I must say something which you may or may not feel is correct, but of late I have been feeling that some of the dynamism after that typhoon thing, when you rallied, after that things seem to have sort of, gone down a little. That's the impression I get. I may be wrong, but I get the impression that you're involved in a lot of problems and so on, and that energy which was there at that time when Matri Mandir was being built, or when the typhoon hit, I think perhaps that energy is dispersing. I may be entirely wrong, but this is the impression I get. And so I must point out that the whole raison d'etre of Auroville is to get together, have individual and collective aspiration and achievement. And therefore, any kind of division on the basis of race or creed or caste or language or anything of that nature is certainly not in the spirit of Auroville. And therefore, I think that it's very important that Auroville should recapture the spiritual impetus that is visible from time to time. Every organization goes through its ups and downs. You can't have just a straight graph all the time. But I think that now the time has come when we need a new...